Hello and welcome to the Crypto Masters podcast, helping the general public to master an understanding of crypto assets. My name is Brian McCoy.
And my name is Ross Eaton.
And we are the Crypto Masters. Welcome, everybody, to a very special edition of the Crypto Masters. We have recorded 26 episodes about different crypto assets, and we decided it was time to do an update. So we are just going to kind of wing it. We're just going to go through our previous shows where we discuss crypto assets and maybe talk about any updates or talk about what our final thoughts were and if there would be any changes to those final thoughts. How's that sound, Ross?
No. Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, give them the disclaimer, sir.
Oh, so before we begin, we have to say this, but this show is not meant to be financial advice. We have to say it. That disclaimer's out of the way. Let's freaking get to it.
It is not financial advice, but we will give our thoughts on some of these. That's kind of the point of this. So,
yes,
our first show was in late 2019, and that was Bitcoin. We recently redid that because we weren't happy with our audio on the first one, and so we don't really need to go into that anymore. Of course, the second show was Ethereum. Again, that was in late 2019. And let's just go from that, Ross. I mean, even on that show, we discussed Ethereum 2.0. Yep. It was just kind of starting then. It's still ongoing. We're now doing this, and let's give them the date. It's May 30th, 2021. So ETH 2.0 is underway, but and there have been some milestones met with that, but it's still using proof of work. And it's still ongoing. They're still having the congestion on the network, still having the problem with the high fees.
Yeah.
And, we both left off. We like Ethereum. We're invested in Ethereum. Still are. I've bought more since then.
Yeah, I've bought more since then. I've started mining since then. Try to mine as much as I can until they switch to, proof of stake. And hey, I've got my Ethereum socks on right now. That should show you what's going on in my head. Yeah.
Well, in the same way, we talked at the end of that show, we both concluded that we liked Ethereum. I was kind of more of a, ETH 2.0 better solve this. And even then, I was still concerned with the unlimited cap. There was no cap on the number. But after that, EIP 1559 was introduced. And if any of you are following this, you know what that is. And in a very general terms, it is a proposal that will change and allow for some burning of ETH on transactions. So a certain percentage will be burned, and it can have the effect of maybe making ETH even deflationary, or it certainly will have the effect of capping or limiting the amount of ETH in circulation because they'll be burning some. And then, of course, ETH 2.0 includes some staking. So that has helped assuade my concerns about the unlimited market cap of ETH, and not just me. A lot of people are like, wow, EIP 1559 is a game changer, and I think it may be as well.
Oh, yeah. And, Ethereum is still number 2. So, can't
so
knock it there.
Both, I'm going to leave off here. We're both still high on Ethereum, higher than we were, I think, even when we did the show. But, a lot of good competition is out there. So, all right, let's move on. Our third show was Litecoin. That was early January of 2020. So on Litecoin, we both left it with kind of like, trying to pass itself off as the silver to Bitcoin's gold, and we also can be a store of value. And neither of us were buying that, and still aren't, buying that.
No, yeah. In my early days, I held a lot of Litecoin, to be honest, but it's just a little faster, but there's the sacrifice of security. So I don't know. I don't
We
know.
were both like, meh, I think at the end, and I'm still kind of there. Although I will say I think it's done better than I expected. And, it's in no way a bad coin. It's an investable coin. I don't own any, but yeah. So that's sort of panned out the way I think we planned. I don't have much to change on Litecoin.
Yeah, hovering around, just to let you know, market cap rank of 14-ish. I've seen it down to 17 or 20, so kind of in that range.
Yeah, and it was higher when we did the first show. It was probably in the top 5. All right, our fourth podcast episode was on EOS. Again, it's a platform competitor to Ethereum. We both were kind of like, meh, I'm not sure its advantages. We were both concerned about its lack of decentralization, and I still share that concern. It really hasn't done much since then, so I'd sort of stand on our conclusions on the first podcast.
Yeah, and nothing to EOS, but it looks worse than before just because they've had so many competitors enter and do well. So it's at market cap 23 as of this recording, but I don't know. I expect it to kind of drop more.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I stick with our conclusions. We were kind of like meh, and that's kind of how it's turned out. So
I own none. Well, I think I own like a couple, but I don't. Just because I'm not touching it.
Yeah, I've never owned any. All right.
Yeah.
So next up is BAT, Basic Attention Token. We did that podcast around April of 2020. We both liked it. We both liked it a lot. What it was trying to do with advertising, for on the internet with the Brave browser. So we both concluded we were high on it. And I will say I did own some BAT, and then I actually sold that BAT at a small gain. So I don't own any now. Since we did the show too, there's been a Grayscale Trust has added BAT.
Yeah,
and
that's
created.
A huge one.
Yeah, so that's huge. It's done well. It's probably tripled in price since our show, which is in line. It's not outstanding, but it's in line with some of the other crypto assets. So yeah, I'd stand by sort of where we concluded that show. What about you?
Oh yeah, I still love Basic Attention Token. I love the Brave browser. That's what I'm using right now on my laptop, on my phone, on my desktop. I love the project and the Grayscale Trust. I'm surprised it didn't take off more when it got added to that. It's around market cap 80 right now. But yeah, still a solid project. Yeah, I think we're in agreement on that.
All right. So next up, the sixth show was on Cardano, and that was done in late April, maybe early May of 2020. At that time, the price was around 5 cents. And Ross, if we're going to pat ourselves on the back, this is the one because we were super high on Cardano.
Yeah.
If you listen to that podcast, I said, if my brothers, my sister, my best friends asked me what to buy, I would tell them Cardano. So we're looking good on this one. This stood the test of time. The price was 5 cents at the time. It went up to $2.50 at one point. Yeah. It's now come back down, but it's still over $1.60 at the time of this recording. So that has been a tremendous project, just like we said. So.
Oh yeah, climbed in market cap. I think did it get up to 3, Brian? Do you know? I know it's at 4 market cap right now.
It did. Rank. It did get as high as 3.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm solid on this one. I bought way even more since our first episode, and
me too.
Yeah, that was
I say. Give us our kudos on this one. We'll take credit on that one because that was our big winner. It was Cardano.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, episode number 7. Our topic was Tron.
Lucky 7.
Yeah, and I think we sort of concluded it had the decentralization issues. I think the same as EOS, and those are still there. They had drama with Justin Sons. That's probably still there. I mean, we both kind of concluded, we don't see a big advantage. If ETH 2.0 is successful, doesn't have any major problems, we're not going to buy any. I haven't bought any. How about you?
No, I still don't trust, I don't touch Tron. Just the Justin Sun issues, stuff surrounding Tron. I don't know. It did have a good peak a little little while back. I think it had a good little run a couple
Yeah,
months ago.
yeah.
But
It's not done. It's not done poorly.
yeah.
And oh, by the way, and I don't know why this is, but Tether now the Tether on Tron blockchain has surpassed the amount on Ethereum. So Tether has become a big part of Tron, and I think that's contributed to its recent price performance. So,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So not much. I don't really change much that I said back on that one. All right. So our 8th program was IOTA, and we both liked it back then. Well, not back then, but I mean it's the new technology, the different technology. You remember, it uses the Tangle. It uses DAG rather than a blockchain, and that was a differentiator. And we both liked it. What do you think of it now?
Oh yeah, I still really like it. Unfortunately, I sold some to buy more Cardano, and that was a big mistake, as Brian likes to poke at me.
Well, not if you bought Cardano with it.
Yeah,
I mean,
But if I could have, obviously you can't time the market, but if I had timed it when it really, I mean, I think it just exploded. But yeah,
but honestly, not as much as Cardano. So if you did do it for Cardano, you can't complain about that. I kind of kept both, and I've been adding to my IOTA. So just to add, some recent developments, they announced a big partnership with Dell in early 2020 that led to a price increase. They had on their roadmap, they had the Chrysalis update, and that has occurred. That was completed in the second quarter of 2021, which added some new features and performance boost. Now, Ross, you'll remember when we did the first show, our only issue, not our only issue, but our thing was, hey, if they go through with this decentralization, which they call coorticide, remember that they have a aspect of their program that is centralized that they're going to kill off, and they're going to call it coorticide. And in our program, I listened to it again. We mentioned that would happen in early 2021. It didn't. It's now targeting the fourth quarter of 2021, but it looks like it's on course. And I've been following them a lot lately. And when the coorticide happens in the fourth quarter of 2021, that could be a big catalyst.
Yeah, and just, I don't know, people see delays as a negative thing, but I think it's not a software project if it doesn't have delays. I mean, you see that in business, so I'm not too worried about the delay.
I'm not. Right. That does. I'm not selling or anything because of that, and I seem to believe them that they're making the progress that they think they're going to make to have it done in Q4. But we'll see.
Market cap around 40, just to let you know.
Yes, and anyways, I was big on IOTA. We both gave it 2 thumbs up, and I would renew that now.
Oh yeah, solid tech there.
All right. Number 9, our 9th podcast in June of 2020 was Monero, the first privacy coin that we talked about, and I think we both liked it. Go ahead. What are your thoughts now?
Yeah, it's still, I think my final thought is it's just nothing against Monero, but it's just the government regulations. Like if they're going to regulate one, it's going to be a privacy token. And I think it was taken off some exchanges. So I think it sucks for the project because it's a good project. It's a good team, but unfortunately governments kind of crack down on privacy tokens.
Yeah. And that's what we said back then. I said I was thinking about buying it, but I hadn't bought any then, and I still haven't bought any because of the privacy concerns. Not the privacy concerns, the concerns that the privacy aspect of it will lead to regulation. That hasn't happened. Other than, like you say, I think some exchanges delisted it out of some concerns, but I think it's done pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say, that was kind of a miss for us because I think Monero has done better than we expected.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's around market cap 26, so it's still up there.
It probably was about the time we did our show. It might have been a little higher than that. But
and I'm not holding any, but hey, I'll get a Monero tattoo any day. I'll tell you that.
All right, so our 10th episode was the beginning of the DeFi summer of 2020, so we did the show on Compound, and I believe we both concluded, solid project, DeFi being a category that is going to continue to thrive which I mean, sort of happened. It did die down on its on its hype after the end of DeFi summer of 2020, but it's since bounded back, and I'd say Compound is still a blue chip in the DeFi space and solid project. I continue to give it thumbs up. So, I'm expecting big things from DeFi again, and maybe this summer, maybe it'll be a second DeFi summer in 2021. So I bought some Compound, and I'm still positive on the project.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's good.
All right. Sure. Our 12th podcast, our 11th podcast was our first combo where we discussed both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV, two forks of Bitcoin. I think we concluded both were kind of like meh on both of them.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that's kind of panned out pretty well. I think they've both dropped in the market cap rankings and have just kind of been meh.
Yeah, I'm still, if you want to store value, pick Bitcoin over these two. I don't know. That's just me. We got some hate in the comments from some Bitcoin SV people, but I fair game. Give us
right.
Give us your
no,
opinion.
We're going to have some criticism. I haven't bought any, and I have no plans to. And again, they both just kind of meh, But if you like the project and think maybe they will be one of the successful cryptocurrencies, then we just disagree. No problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Our 12th episode was Augur, and that was in, I don't know, I'm going to say around July of 2020. I think it was July 2020. So back then, the U.S. presidential election was in full swing, and Augur was a part of that. That was part of its betting platforms. You could bet on the U.S. election. I think but I don't remember our conclusions, but it was kind of like, maybe it's kind of interesting, the betting aspect of it. But I think we were kind of like, meh. What do you recall?
Yeah, it's still meh for me because I remember getting on, and I mean, don't get me wrong, the concept is cool, but when you get on there, you're supposed to be able to, the community can kind of start their own kind of betting platform, and there were duplicates that were just reworded. And, that's supposed to be taken down, but it wasn't. It just, I don't know. It seemed like maybe the community just wasn't there backing it. And the rank is 236.
I mean, it's plunged.
It's way low.
It's basically been a train wreck since the U.S. election, I think. Because,
that was the last big thing.
Yeah, everybody was into that. But, after that ended, I haven't seen much out of Augur. So not very well since then.
Yeah.
All right. So our 13th program was a pretty fairly low cap. I think it was maybe below 100. No, I don't know. Maybe it was between 60 and 100 at the time. Ravencoin.
Yep.
I think we both concluded we kind of liked it. I mean, I'd say, we gave it, we liked it, and I still like it. I do own some. I owned some then, and I still own some. Probably bought a little bit since then.
Mm-hmm.
And it really had performed very well, like really well.
Oh, it was doing,
Until it got crunched in the recent market drop. I mean, it's back down, well above what it was, but it had a pretty hard fall as well. So I would say I'm still high. I'm still giving Ravencoin thumbs up. I'm not planning to sell what I own. I might buy a little more. So I'm mildly optimistic. What about you?
Yeah, I personally don't own any Ravencoin, but I mean, hey, I like the project. I think this is one of those where you have just new competitors entering the space, so it just kind of got kicked down. Its market cap rank right now is 104, which I'm actually kind of surprised it's outside the 100. But my rough plan right now is when Ethereum goes to proof of stake to switch to mining and helping out Ravencoin.
Good idea.
That's a rough plan.
I like it.
We'll see how it
Number 14, our 14th podcast was Polymath. Now, Polymath is a security tokens platform, and to be honest and fair, Ross, I think we probably did Polymath at my encouragement because I was very interested in security tokens. I thought they might, have a catalyst where they would take off. Really hasn't happened. I mean, it hasn't performed poorly necessarily. Its market cap has gone up, I'm sure, since our program. I think it was in 300s at the time. What is it now?
Oh, it's at rank is 201.
201. So it's gone up in market cap, and its price has done pretty well. But I would say the security tokens haven't had their big catalyst yet. So therefore it hasn't either. It's done in line with a lot of the other ones on the improvement in price, but not necessarily blasted through anything.
No, yeah, I think it's a solid project, but maybe one that's kind of just still before its time, before it's had a chance to hit the mainstream. But I still think this is going to be a good play, a big player going forward.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, and again, security tokens I think could have their day, and when they do, Ravencoin will have a big jump. I'm sorry. Well, Ravencoin to some extent, but Polymath even more.
Yeah.
Okay, so our 15th podcast.
I knew what you were saying.
Our 15th podcast was XRP from Ripple Labs, and at the time we did it, there had not been the SEC lawsuit. We did note I guess pat ourselves on the back again. Yeah, we sort of nailed this one.
You, Brian. I think you called it.
Yeah, I talked about the security, the fact that it could be defined as a security, and then later, I don't remember, a few months maybe after our podcast, the SEC actually filed the lawsuit against XRP. And, that led to delistings from all the U.S. exchanges, I think, basically, which had an impact on its price. But I got to say, it's actually done better than I expected. I mean, with all those delistings, you would think it would have really plunged. It's hung on pretty well, surprisingly well.
Yeah, and I almost feel this thought in the community that, hey, I'm still it's true. If Ripple comes out of this lawsuit, it's going to do well. So.
It is, yeah. To my surprise, we sort of slammed it because of its lack of because of its centralization. It really was obviously more centralized than most of the others, about all of the others, and
that's just their like they plan to be.
That's right. But they could, I don't know. They might win that lawsuit, and if they do. It will have a positive effect on the price. So
I think it will take off if they win that. That would be huge.
Yeah. So number 16, as a joke, we just did a podcast on Dogecoin.
Yep.
And back then, it was hanging around number 50. I'm pretty sure.
It was low, Brian.
And
it was real low.
If you're listening to this now, you know what has happened to Dogecoin. And his biggest cheerleader, Elon Musk, has caused Dogecoin to go through the roof. So I guess I would put this in the fail category for us, because we both said, we think it's cool, but I'm not buying any, and I haven't bought any. Did you?
Oh no, I didn't buy any. Totally wish I should, because I would be retired even at my age right now. But
So we both missed that, but a lot of people did. I'm not
the majority. Yeah,
I'm not gnashing my teeth because we didn't see the Dogecoin phenomenon coming, but we didn't. So. We put that one in a loss column for us, because we concluded that we weren't buying any, and we didn't.
Yeah, and Brian, I'll just say this real quick. I cannot tell you how many text messages I get from random friends, colleagues, because they know I'm the crypto guy, and they're like, "Oh, what's your opinion on Dogecoin?" Yeah. I probably had 10, 15 text messages from people about that, and I don't plan to buy any, just because I feel like it's a gamble depending on Elon Musk's Twitter account. But I still love the project.
But I'll say
the project's cool.
Same here. Last thing on Dogecoin is, I think Elon has so invested in it now, not monetarily necessarily, but his defense of it on Twitter has gone to such an extreme that he is going to try to make that succeed. He is going to try to have developers develop something to be used on Dogecoin. So I wouldn't be totally surprised if it does do something at some point, but right now it doesn't. So
yeah.
All right, let's move on. Speaking of fails, let's talk about our biggest fail to date, and that is Matic, which is now called Polygon. It's still Matic is the name of the but it's called Polygon. The project's now called Polygon, and it has just gone through the roof. It's the layer 2 leader. Ethereum has its known problems with gas fees. Matic helps with that. It's been the layer 2 to be adopted. Its price was 3 cents at the time of our recording, and it's gone to over $1.60, or I think it's around $1.60 now. So.
Yeah, $1.80 as I'm looking at it.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So huge fail on us because we both said, as I recall on our final thoughts, Matic is it's probably going to do something, but then once ETH2 comes along, it's not going to be necessary, so we're not buying any. And while that may be true, Ross, we missed out on a huge gain there. So that's our biggest fail.
Huge gain, yeah. Its market cap rank is 15 right now. I think I've seen it a little higher.
It's just an L. I mean, we're losers for this call.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take it. Take it.
I almost just want to walk off.
You can't get them all, but we missed on Matic / Polygon. All right, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Chainlink, not much to be said. We loved it then. We love it now. What's not to be said? It's a super solid blue chip DeFi. I still love it.
Oh, yeah. This one I'm looking to get more. Market cap rank 13, which I'm kind of surprised about. This one, just a big player, tons of partnerships. I've bought more since the episode we did.
Me too. Listen to our first one, first podcast where we loved it then too.
Yeah.
All right, Polkadot. Now, I would say since we talked about it and we both liked it, I'd say it's cooled down a little bit. It was hotter back at the time we did our podcast, but
oh yeah,
but nothing. I mean, it's still a solid project. It's going to continue to expand, and I still give it my thumbs up.
Yeah, market cap rank 9, but yeah, I like your analogy there. It was crazy hot. It's still hot, but it's just kind of like, there's so many other projects that have come out. It's kind of swept under the rug, but still solid.
Right, agreed. All right, so number 20, in about February of 2021, we talked about reserve rights token. And that is a stablecoin project. Ross liked it more than I did. I said I wasn't buying any, and I haven't. Did you?
No.
Okay.
I didn't. But
and that's a good thing because the price is actually lower than when we did our podcast.
Woo, yeah. There we go.
Not many of those, although it was, February of 2021, so it wasn't that long ago. But, most things have been going up, but that has not. But again, I mean, nothing. I think that the technology is good. It'll be good to have a stable coin that's not tied directly to a fiat kind of thing. But yeah, I stand by our first podcast.
Yeah. I still like this project. It's just a cool idea. Market cap rank 130. Yeah, nothing really going on with it. I haven't really heard much about it.
Right. Yep. All right. So Quant, that was our 21st podcast. We talked about its tackling the issue of interoperability. It uses the over ledger. And I think it's still great. It has done pretty well, but like we said then, is still the case now. It needs a major exchange listing. Once this thing gets a major exchange listing, it could really go through the roof, but that hasn't happened.
Yeah, that's basically the main thing holding it back. I mean, and you've got so many competitors doing the same thing. But yeah, they need that.
They would argue with that, I think. I think they would say we're kind of doing interoperability to a level that nobody else is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But whether
that's fair.
Whether you agree with that or not, I'm not sure. But anyways, so Quant, I still give it definitely a thumbs up. And the potential catalyst is a major listing like Binance, and I think this price would go through the roof.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Market cap rank 121, just if you wanted to know.
Okay. All right. So yearn.finance or YFI, DeFi, I will say, when some of the DeFi projects were going up, it was not going up to that same extent. And part of that might be because its price is so high, which is really meaningless because you can buy fractional shares. But I think that might be part of it. But I just want to say for Yearn, I think it's the coolest protocol in DeFi. They just do things that nobody else is doing. And I think it will have its day where that's reflected in the price.
Oh yeah, and their platform has some good, earning opportunities. So go check it out. Yeah,
it makes money. It's like it's like owning a DeFi hedge fund. You want to own part of a DeFi? Would you like to own part of a hedge fund? Right? You know how those hedge funds are successful, and all the hedge fund managers make all the money. Well, you can own part of that DeFi hedge fund by buying Yearn.
Oh yeah, rank
YFI.
67. It's still good. We just really expected it to take off and be, way up there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, so now we're getting to the more recent ones, so we don't have that much to add. But our 23rd podcast was about Cosmos, and that was March of 2021. We liked it. I like it now. I see it as kind of growing. I mean, it's been around for a long time, but it's kind of a Polkadot competitor that's also doing well, and I still like it.
No, I do too. I just have a little bit, but yeah, just kind of waiting on that one.
Yeah.
It was recent, so
All right, so then let's just kind of our most three recent ones were Theta, Filecoin, and Ocean. Not much to say because we've done them recently, but I still kind of feel the same I did then. I don't think I was that high on Theta, but Filecoin and Ocean I liked, and I would say I stand by that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I don't own any of those three, but I'm using the Filecoin network for storage, so that's
okay.
a cool thing to say.
Yeah, I don't own any of those three either. And don't really have any immediate plans, but still good projects. Although I'm keeping my eye on Ocean. I could see buying Ocean, maybe even some Filecoin.
Yeah, I like it.
Ross, we have now done a little recap of all 26 of our prior podcasts. So that's just kind of an update. This is a special program for the Crypto Masters.
Absolutely. And guys, stay tuned. We've got exciting stuff coming your way. Something pretty epic we don't want to mention yet. That's all I'll say.
Oh, man.
A little teaser.
Pre-teaser things.
Little teaser, so stay tuned.
This was fun, Ross. I say we do it again. After we get some more podcasts and videos in the book, we'll do an update because things change in crypto. Things change fast.
Oh, it's ever-changing and rapidly.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch our next podcast. Thanks.
Thanks.